In a world where 1/3 of all edible food never makes it to the mouths of the hungry, we all have an individual moral responsibility to do our part. Hunger is not an issue of charity. The #1 citizen, President Bola Tinubu, has urged state governors to work together to meet the needs of citizens, stating that he is willing to provide the needed support to ensure that Nigerians are relieved of hardship. The president added that states must work together to deliver on the critical reforms required of them to meet the needs of the people. The occasion was the Global Integrity International Award on Good Governance, where he, Mr. President, was an award recipient. BKO, we have no choice.
Yes, and the president was right to appeal to governors to do the needful. The land belongs to the states.
That's it.
There is no reason why governors can't cultivate hundreds of thousands of hectares.
Okay.
You know, because the land is there.
Arable.
God so blessed our country that when you look at the climate of Nigeria, you can hardly talk about any country with a better climate. And our soil is extremely fertile.
Oh, yeah.
Alluvial in nature. So what really is the problem? Many years ago, Awolowo, the late sage, built cocoa house, built the
proceeds from cocoa itself.
From cash crops.
Yeah.
Cash crops, not cocoa alone.
Okay.
Cash crops, because we were not limited to cocoa. At that time, farming was given the pride of place that it deserves. Suddenly, because of the cheap funds from oil,
we looked the other way.
we thought today, maybe in those days, they were growing rubber.
Oh, yeah.
Palm fruit from the Akwa Ibom area than the southeast. All of those things now
gone.
We are importing processed palm oil today,
unashamedly.
Whereas Malaysia came here to collect
the
seedlings from us, and today Malaysia is one of the 3 best producers of palm oil in the world. I think it's only Indonesia that is ahead of them. So we really we are talking about hunger. States have to say, as a matter of policy, okay, look at Ogun. If you are traveling to Ibadan, on both sides you see arable land, uncultivated.
Oh, yeah.
The governor of Niger State impressed me when he said, okay, from today, you people should be calling me farmer, so. And he has cultivated more than 1,000 hectares already. He's brought in tractors because we have to embrace mechanized farming. If anybody thinks young people, today's young people will be attracted to farming by simply telling them, oh, look, our forefathers, they were growing this, they were growing that. They need something that makes life easier for them.
Even those of them who read agriculture are not so...
No, they are not practicing it. They read agriculture simply to have a degree. No, they are not practicing it. So what I'm saying is, we have to encourage young people to get involved in farming. You know why? Our farming population is aging rapidly.
Okay.
Rapidly. So we have to embrace new practices, embrace technology, because that is what we encourage these young people to get involved. Agriculture still remains the highest employer of labor, and it still gives us our highest quantum of GDP.
Because when I look at on the map, when I see the size of Israel and hear that Israel supplies the fruit needs of much of the world all year round.
Yes,
it's a
they've
problem.
turned the desert to arable land.
Yeah,
and it can be done. I said there was an Israeli when I was in the north who was working with this company, Dizengoff.
Okay.
You know, we were traveling and he was doing it. So I'm like, what's wrong? He said he can see food.
Wow. He can
see food. And I was taken aback. I said, what is this man talking about? He said, if Israel had all of what you have.
Wow.
And that was when he told me, he said, even in your country, on your mountains, you can grow whatever you like. Yeah. And
the climate is temperate.
On your mountains, you see trees growing.
Oh, yeah.
That's to tell you that if you plant crops, they will grow there. And I've actually seen people plant crops on mountains in the Mambila area.
Okay.
So we just need, especially now that hunger is terrorizing us as a people.
Yeah.
You had Wike yesterday during the award ceremony. He said, who does not know that there is hunger in the land? Who does not know that Nigerians are suffering? So to hear that from a minister in the administration is significant for me. Okay. So we all know that Nigerians are starving at this time. But what are the steps that we are prepared to take? And you talk about what Kogi was doing yesterday, you referred to it. 76 farm clusters.
Wow.
Where people can grow rice and other crops. And it's the government that is clearing the land for you. The government stationed tractors to do all that work for free.
Enabling environment.
Yes, yeah? Their tractors are clearing the place for you. They are providing you with seedlings. Top grade seedlings, so that you can have higher yield. That is what every state should be doing.
At a time like this?
Yes. When you look at Egypt as a country, the progress that Egypt has made with agriculture, we should be ashamed of ourselves. When Egypt decided to discourage their own farmers from growing rice, because rice consumes so much water, and Egypt decided to encourage them to take to wheat farming, Nigeria then overtook Egypt as Africa's biggest rice producer. Okay. If Egypt had not discouraged and even incentivized growing of wheat as against growing rice, there's no way we could have overtaken Egypt. This is the truth. So when we take credit, deceive ourselves, we'll go and collect rice paddy from neighboring African countries, and we'll now do pyramids and say that this is what we have produced. God is watching those who are doing this kind of things. Because you are refusing to do what you should do, and you are now conning us. You've turned yourself to a scamster by telling Nigerians that, oh, you have produced this rice pyramid. And you know in your heart that you mobilized the rice paddies from Burkina Faso, from Mali, from Niger Republic. Nigerian companies, Nigerian rice mills, they have gone to the border with Niger and built, what's it called? They built warehouses. But we can produce these rice paddies by ourselves.
BK, I'm sure you have heard the statement, God is blessing America, but is America blessing God? Bring it here. God has blessed Nigeria, but
sufficiently. Has not blessed us sufficiently with the right leaders.
Okay. I see where you're coming from.
Yes. You've blessed us with resources.
So what?
There are some countries which they had, but I feel blessed us with the right caliber of leaders. The answer, you know the answer.
Blowing in the wind.
No, it's not blowing. The answer is resident here.
Okay then. Adekule, God is watching. I've blessed these people enough. What do they want? So, Mr. President, appealing to the 36 governors is like the father figure at his best.
It goes beyond appeal. And when you read his speech, you will see that I'm seeing a fundamental shift, which is, if pursued very well, will be very great for Nigeria. No big country like Nigeria is developed by the federal government. The states are the biggest drivers of development. And I can see President Tinubu seems to be embracing this. It's a cold fact, but you must embrace it. Whether it comes to road, infrastructure, food security, in fact, security architecture, and so many other things that make the country great. The federal government is an enabler, but the states are the true drivers of development. And that I'm able to deduce from the speech of the president yesterday. You remember I gave them 7 days to come back, and when you look at Nigeria, when you look at that speech on its own, he seems to be doing creating some enablers that, oh, if you do this, you know, the Chinese will always say their development always follows, you know, roads. So you will see Lagos, Badagry, Badagry, Sokoto, you know, expressway.
You talked about that route.
That thing started during military rule. You know, during Obasanjo that time. If you move from Lafenwa, you will see it's straight like. But that was in that era. If they are going to do it now, I'm sure they won't do that kind of narrow thing. So, and you see the Calabar, you know, Lagos Calabar, you know, those things are not just meant to just beautify the environment.
They are not for
but to open up, you know, when you have roads, infrastructure, it helps. But we need to think deeper. I remember, I think that would be 2012, and I remember General Lania Krinyadi. We were in an interview with him. You know, he's a big farmer. He brought in some Chinese. And according to him, the Chinese came to Nigeria, and they were wondering that if it's possible for Nigerians to release their country to the Chinese, and we can evacuate the Chinese people down to Nigeria, and that in 10 years, then let's come back to the negotiation table. That do you still want this place, or you want to remain permanently over there? It wasn't funny. But that what do we turn this country to in 10 years? We will beg to collect it back from them. That
Yusuf, it is on record Nigeria is the greatest producer of cassava on the planet. So you can't take that away. So can't we take advantage?
Well, I don't go by all these numbers, greatest, largest, longest, when it doesn't have, you know, the real value that we need. Nigerians are hungry. Is it easy to take, you know, Gari in Nigeria? So with our so-called
more than 4,000 naira.
So one of
gold.
Today in Nigeria, the biggest, or let me say the cheapest source of, you know, protein for most Nigerians. What is it? Beans. Is it affordable now?
It is not.
Most people are able to move near it now because it's not that expensive. The way it has never been. So, but we are not trying to,
because we are not doing the right thing.
So now, if you look at it, for example, if you take yam, cassava, plantain, maize, you know, rice, you can do a cluster of states that have comparative advantage on this. The other day, the Southwest governors were meeting, and one of the things that came out from their meeting was that they realized that they have to cooperate now, do agriculture. And a state like Lagos, which is the least, or let me say the smallest state in Nigeria in terms of land mass, you know, can, you know, go into alliance with a state like Oyo State. Oyo State is the biggest around here. I mean, I'm talking about the Southwest. If you see what Oyo State government is doing in agriculture, they can take it further when you cooperate. You can go to Osun, you can go to Ondo, you can go to...
Not to talk about the middle belt.
These food items I just mentioned, you have this state like Benue, you have Taraba, you have Anambra, Ebonyi, Delta, Ogun, Oyo, Ekiti, Kogi. That in the next... We are not saying government should move in directly. They will corrupt it. That's not what we are saying. But
create an enabling environment.
Create an enabling and power individuals that are interested in this. You don't need to have 1,000 growers of cassava. You can have 100 and be the leader in,
Thank you.
in Africa.